Yes.
Hey guys, it's time to forget bollocks. I hurt Lenny's feelings right before the show. I told him he's too smart to write our ads.
I'll accept that.
So it's time to get going. It is time for bollocks this evening. We got a great show. We got a lot of wonderful stuff. We got the wager wire tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We got stories about Rod Stewart.
I'd like to win one of them.
We got dolphin stories. We got Danish women. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on.
This dolphin story is for you. It's the Miami Dolphins for the wager wire part of our show.
Oh, okay. Well, still a dolphin story.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Amanda loves dolphins.
Yeah, I know.
So, we got
if they're a cheetah.
We got sodas. We got recycling. My favorite subject of all time.
Yep.
So,
plus, we can play with patriotic states and worth fast food restaurants.
There's patriotic states.
Apparently, there's 50 of them.
Oh, okay.
Some more than others, and you'll be thrilled to know which the number 49 is.
The way they're ranked.
Yep.
So, but if you're out there, please share that show. We appreciate it. Lenny, how you doing today, man?
I am just skippy. Trivia was back last night.
You guys did pretty good.
Came in second with our team of 2, me and Julie, as opposed to losing to a team of 12 or 9 or 10.
Yeah. Stone Cold made a big comeback.
They did. Well, that's because we didn't boo loud enough. Yeah. Exactly. Trust me, you called that one.
Warned you guys at halftime that that's what was going to happen.
Well, I'm all right. I won't say that on the air because she doesn't need to know.
Blake, what you got going on back there, man? You doing okay?
I'm doing all right.
What do you got? Pizza over your shoulder?
A
Danish. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and Julie was very impressed by the lack of strawberry in your Neapolitan yesterday.
Yeah, that was the point.
Yeah.
No one likes. If you like strawberries, you are a psychopath. Do you agree with that statement?
I like strawberries.
No, I like strawberries, and every now and again, strawberry ice cream is not bad.
I like strawberries.
Never had a strawberry cheesecake from Good Humor?
What do you mean? You used to like strawberries. Why are you hating on strawberries?
One time I had a strawberry, I threw up afterwards. I never liked strawberries after that point.
Okay, well, I can understand the association, but try another one now that you're older and further removed from the situation.
So, I mean, I didn't realize you had that hatred towards strawberries. I know you have a hatred towards chocolate. Strawberries. You're just not going to eat. I mean, all you're going to have is like potato chips left. You keep this up.
Well,
I had grapes today. Okay.
I don't know what that high pitched.
And I like potato chips.
I don't know what that high pitched thing was.
He's getting defensive.
Peter Brady voice. He just.
He's getting defensive.
So, yeah. So he had a ham and cheese pita today that he devoured. So
that's good.
We ate at the wheel.
Cool.
So
I like their egg salad.
They do a great job over there, and really nice people.
I like their egg salad for sure. Yeah, it's absolutely lovely.
All right, we got Diddy, fast food, and wager wires. What's in the title?
Okay.
So we got to talk about our sponsors first, and then we're gonna do the obvious and talk a little bit about. Not going to go into detail because I'm not one of those court TV guys that carries on about that. I'm just not that person.
And in all candor, I'm not that interested in it.
Yeah. I think he's a bad person. So that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, do we have the verdict? Thank you very much. Move on.
Yeah, it doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. All right, but these people actually do because they are amazing, and they're amazing to have in our city. And I'm talking about Bozard, Ford, Lincoln, and St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today at bozardford.com.
All righty. For those of you who filed an extension or planning for next year, Abear, Kresge & Associates is a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top-level service in the areas of tax compliance and planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts, audits, reviews, and other accounting services, business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach them at 904-460-0747 or online at www.abearkresge CPA. So that would be ABAREKRESGE CPA.
And this is why he's not allowed to to write them just right there. You overachiever. You're a front.
I'm giving all their information.
You're a front row of the class person, and we have a middle of the class audience.
Mr. Carter.
Yes,
Mr. Carter. Ooh.
Yes, that's who you are, Horseshack. You're Horseshack with a brain. Most dangerous human being in the world. All right, I'll tell you one thing. This is also an amazing group. They do manufacturing right here in St. Augustine, and we're talking about Solar Stick, established in 2006. Solar Stick is a local portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing, constant innovation, and creating jobs right here in St. Augustine, Florida. Solar Stick's focus on providing solutions for self-sufficiency helps users all over the world complete missions and save lives. Solar Stick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing.
Yeehaw. Good for them. Very important. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning's dedication to customer service has been evident in everything they do. From the moment they answer your call until the time they leave your home, they're working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell. With their fleet of 10-plus trucks and 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment, they are ready to serve you around the clock. They service all heating and air conditioning brands, and you can get a hold of them at 904-794-COOL, which is 904-794-2665, Powell Heating and Air Conditioning.
They got great service there, that's for sure. All right. Other places that you got to really support for us, if you don't mind, because they support us and they keep us on the air and let us do what we do. And that is, of course, Meehan's Irish Pub, A.D. Davis Construction, Land Title of America, A to Z Roofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, Mr. Electric, Brightway Insurance, St. Augustine Pirate Museum, and Anastasia Construction Group. And let's not forget the Saint. Did I mention Kaiser's?
You did not mention Kaiser.
Well, we always put Kaiser there at the end, and we got to show some love for Kaiser. We're going to get him in the studio here.
I think so.
I mean, he's such a maniac.
He's working hard these days.
That's because he's from Maine, people. It's not really a term that he understands it.
Right.
So here you go. Hand me those over right there because we got a show to do.
Let's do it.
We got a show to do. It's going to be a really big show.
Mr. Sullivan, may I call you Ed?
Really big show. All right, so let's talk about Diddy and then get it out of the way.
Fine.
Okay.
So apparently he didn't. Diddy didn't.
He probably did, but I think he's still got a lot going on in civil suits. This was on the criminal side. Mm-hmm. This isn't Diddy's last day in court.
No.
So let's just be real clear on that, because in civil they don't have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. So,
right.
One of my favorite sports questions is who was the last Jewish man to win the Heisman?
Not Blanchard.
Ron Goldman's dad. So he took it from OJ.
OJ.
So OJ won in the criminal side, but he got his ass kicked in the civil side. I see this happening with Diddy also.
Okay.
So I see
a lot of gold records going out the door.
Yeah, I see the platinums. So I see this happening.
I'm old school.
With Diddy in a lot of ways. This isn't the end of it. He was found guilty on 2 of the charges of the 5, the 2 of the lesser charges. Maximum he could get is like 10 years, I think is what I heard.
On each, I believe.
On each one of those. But he doesn't really have a record prior to that.
Right.
And so it's probably, he's probably going to do a couple of years, I think, is
interesting,
what I'm hearing.
The conversation now, I believe, is whether or not he gets to get out on bail in the interim until the sentencing.
Yeah. I think that's going to happen.
Probably.
I think that's going to happen at this point.
I think he'll probably have to turn in his passport.
Yes, I believe that is true also. So, Blake, you got anything else you want to add to the Diddy, that slippery slide of Diddy?
Let's see. I'm trying to get the background image and focus here. I definitely want to say no, not really, because we so basically we kind of knew like Diddy like Sean Combs was going to be going to jail at some, like we definitely know like he did some stuff like we saw him act like shady around when Justin Bieber came over. He was feeling him for a while because he was paranoid that he had a wire on him. So we definitely knew like there was going to be something that was going to fall down from Diddy. what my interest is like, basically like, okay, so because of his work with like Bad Boy Records, like what's like the legacy of like the other artists that was associated with they like did they know as well, like and at least
I think they knew.
Yeah,
Depends if they're invited to the parties or not.
I think they knew. I think everybody kind of knew how shady it was, but he had so much power, juice in the industry. It was one of those things. All right, we're just going to let it go. Yeah. And I think that's the same thing that happens with a lot of people with power. You know, they get away with a lot more. You know, it's not so much money; it's also having the power.
Right.
You know, and that's a dangerous thing in every society, and it's not just in the U.S. It's everywhere.
No, it's international.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, but the reason I brought that up was because like one of like Diddy's first partners that we know about was Biggie Smalls. Like so I'm not sure if we heard. Like,
I don't know if he had.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times these guys do little things to kind of test the water, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger as they go. And Biggie died so early. Diddy didn't have the same juice that he had, you know, later on in his career. So, you know, that's one that, you know, I do like Biggie's music. So
So
couldn't tell you a song he did.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a title, but I couldn't tell you a title.
Couldn't tell you I'd recognize
most of my favorite artists. I can't tell you a song title.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I once the song starts, I can kind of sing along with it.
Okay.
But that's about it. You know, I'd be the worst person at like name that tune. You know, the only reason I know the Pina Colada song is Escape is because it's a trivia question.
Right.
Because everyone calls it the Pina Colada song.
Right.
You know, that's the only reason I know that title. So there's very few titles I actually know.
Yeah.
Last night's name that artist was a toughie.
Which one was? I don't remember what it was.
It was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd.
Oh, The Weeknd.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The younger generation song, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I like some of his stuff, but and I think he's having some issues because I think he's canceling tours, canceling concerts left and right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had to cancel a couple of them, but he's going to make them up.
Voice issues, or
I'm not quite sure.
I believe it might have been voice issues, but I know another guy that's doing it. He's retiring the Weeknd brand, so he's going to be his own artist again.
Okay.
So that's next week's trivia question: is what's the Weeknd's given name?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you guys?
So, but you know Malcolm X's given name.
Well, I also but I also knew Shabazz, which is what he changed it to after Little.
Yeah.
And that's what his wife and children are named.
Yeah, but so. I said at birth. I think was the way I worded the question.
Yeah, I wasn't going to argue.
Yeah. No.
that was
actually in the question.
Right. All right.
His birth name.
Right.
So Shabazz was not his birth name.
Right. No, he picked that one out himself, I believe.
Yeah, but one more thing I do want to add though is with everything that we know and then like officially confirmed by the courts and then run it down by the jury, do you believe like a lot of people are still gonna like listen to like Diddy's songs and like when you hear like scandals like previous artists in the past can you yourself like disassociate?
I can tell you I won't play at trivia. I won't play Diddy music.
Okay.
I just because I don't want to offend somebody who might have, and I think there's going to be a lot of people like that.
Right.
So it's definitely going to hurt his brand in a lot of ways. I'm not a guy who personally associates with stuff like that. But I won't do that just so I don't hurt other people's feelings when I play music for other people.
Yeah.
So
the only real question I have on this entire trial is there was some question about some of the jurors were questioning the judge about one of the other jurors, and I never got any details on that. So I'm really not quite sure what was going on because I think there was one juror that was kind of bollocksing up the words, and I'm not quite sure what came from that. So because it got to the point where they were virtually on the precipice of a hung jury, and this person won't move this way and that person won't move that way. So
yeah. And Josh said he still listens to R. Kelly and Kanye, and I listen to Kanye, and I think he's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I think he's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, those things don't affect me, as much. But as a person who's playing for other people,
right,
I won't play it for other people. If Diddy comes on, I won't be like, "Oh my gosh, Tony!" I won't be that person. So.
Just don't aindulge it.
Yeah, you just got to read the room.
Yeah. So it's just not something I get too hung up on. All right, that's that. We have categories. All right, I've been trying to do this one for a while. I think you have some that's been on the list for a bit. Get out of town. What's your first one?
The worst chain restaurants in America.
It's a way to keep it short. It's why he can't write. He was.
I write brilliantly.
Yeah, you write brilliantly. I'm sure.
I'm just trying to change.
We'll do a read. It's going to be Atlas Shrugged.
Not in the least. I'm just going to change the
Atlas
pronoun
Shrugged.
so that it's reading from the person reading it, not the person who gave it to me.
You just put little notes on that. We're actually going to put them through our special reading and do the timing on all of them and gauge them up too. So give me 2 words out of that would make this flow.
KFC and McDonald's suck.
Fast food sucks.
Was that the category you said?
Yeah, worst chain and fast food restaurants.
How about worst fast food?
How about
Bad
why
food.
don't we get into it? We're dickering on the title when we can be discussing the subject.
Bad food.
All right. What's the other topics?
And you actually have some good ones. You want to do the sodas with that one?
Yeah, I think they go hand in glove.
We can do that one together.
Sure.
Most consumed sodas. So we have get out of town, bad food, most consumed sodas.
And well, I'll bring it up when we talk about sodas, but I was sorely disappointed that Diet Coke was as young as it actually was. And
because Tab was there.
I know, and I've been a Tab drinker for ages.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the person supporting Tab in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
You know, one market carried it, and I'd be taking my 12 packs out of there on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So, like the joke I said last night, I still taste the Tab from 1978.
I got one from 1978 in my pantry. Don't be silly.
Do you? Oh,
I still have 2 cans left.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid
All right.
I'm afraid to drink them.
All right, Blake, which way are we going with these?
I'm gonna say get out of town, but just out of curiosity, did you send me the chart that's supposed to be with the story?
I did. Did you accept it through?
I did not get a notification from you for it.
Okay, turn off your airdrop, and we will get it to you. All right, so these are the towns, 20 top cities around the U.S. that people are moving away from. All right.
Okay.
I have last year's and this year's. All right. Do you want to take a guess of what the number 1 city in the United States that people are moving away from?
Well, in Florida, it's
In the U.S.
well, Florida's in the U.S.
In the U.S. Do you
Okay.
think it's a Florida city?
Well, I know that Cape Coral is getting lambasted and people are leaving in droves.
If I ask you what time it is, you're going to tell me how to build a watch, aren't you?
A grandfather clock. They're
Yeah.
big and they sound really nice when they chime.
Julie, you're a saint. I'm telling you right now, you are probably the most amazing woman in the world.
That's why I married her.
Here was the question, Lenny. In the U.S., what city is the most moved out of?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
That's not a city.
New York City
New York
is
City.
a city.
You want me to do it by borough? Staten Island.
No, it's not by borough.
I know, and it's not Staten Island.
And New York City actually is not on the list. The closest one is number 4, and it's Long Island.
That's not a city.
They are saying Long Island, New York, serving parts of New York City.
Yeah, well,
So-
don't forget you got Brooklyn
saying-
and Queens are on Long Island.
That's that's a part of it.
Right.
So I'm going to give you number 4 on that one.
Thank you.
Manhattan is not on the list, and I think once you get an apartment there, you're like, I'm never leaving.
If it's rent controlled, you sure is not, and you're going to hope that Mandami, does away with, locks in rent control.
Blake, what city do you think is on the list? There are 2 cities in the state of Florida.
All right.
There's one in the top 5.
They do regions. They're not doing cities. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's the metropolitan
Area.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
metropolitan
sure.
area.
So since I already looked at the list, because you said
You've already. I sent you the list.
Yeah, you
All
sent
right,
me
so
the
you
list.
know what's number 1.
Yeah,
All right,
so Miami is the top Florida area.
Yeah, so South Florida, Miami, and a lot of those people are becoming halfbackers.
Okay.
You know what a halfbacker is?
Yeah, it's the guy that stands in front of the behind the quarterback and takes the ball.
Second half of the show. A halfbacker, that's the wager wire portion of it.
Yeah.
A halfbacker is people that leave Long Island, go to South Florida, this is nuts.
And moved to North Carolina.
And they moved to North Carolina.
Right. Okay.
So that's a halfbacker.
Okay.
So a lot of these guys are halfbackers from COVID and that time frame where New York kind of closed the doors onto everything and kind of forced some people out of business. They moved down, said, I'm just going to retire. I'm going to sell my house because it's worth 3 times what it is in Florida, and did pretty well.
Absolutely.
Did pretty well at that time.
Plus with the taxes, the differential in taxes is huge.
Yeah. So
I'm just actually surprised that people went as far south as Miami and didn't stop short of it, like, Fort Lauderdale or a little bit further up the East Coast.
Some of them came to Northeast Florida too. Like a lot of people, we get people from Florida too that are like now having kids, and they're like, okay, I'm going to a better school system, and that's how St. John's County's getting the numbers where they're at. The other city in Florida is the Tampa area.
Right.
So, and they're ranked 16. Blake, have you already flashed up the list?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't bring in my work for tomorrow.
If you can leave it up for just a little bit while I'm talking, I appreciate it. All right. If you look at this list, number 1, Los Angeles.
Okay.
All right. That's number 1. This is the entire United States. People are moving away from.
They're afraid of the Marines.
Number 2. That's not what it is.
I don't even know if the Marines are still there anymore. Have you heard about Los Angeles at all?
Marines weren't there in 24. Guess who was number 1 on the list then? LA.
Have we heard anything about Los Angeles in the last 2 weeks?
No.
Okay,
not at
just
all.
wondering.
Not at all, because I mean they're talking about the Elon Trump fight.
Right.
Number 2, San Francisco. All right.
Too expensive.
Number 5, San Diego. All right.
Really? That's surprising.
These are. I'm going through the California. Number 11. These are all California. Santa Barbara. All right.
Very expensive.
Number 13, Stockton, Modesto. They were 9 last year. Santa Barbara was 11 last year. San Francisco, LA and San Francisco were 1 and 2 last year.
Makes sense.
San Diego was 8, moved up to 5. All right.
People leaving.
Still in California. Fresno, there were 17 last year, and Bakersfield. Those are the California cities.
I'm surprised it's San Diego.
How many is that? Like 7 from California in the top 20?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's San Diego, honestly.
Yeah. So Texas was Austin, has Austin in there. We're talking the bigger states. I think that's the only one they
People
had.
are leaving Austin?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
too hippy dippy.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, they jacked up their prices.
Well, okay.
They jacked up their taxes inside the city.
Just in the city?
Yeah, because that's the only Democrat city in the state.
Yeah.
So they're moving.
It's the state capital.
Well, they're moving out. They're moving out of Austin and moving to
Spaceland or whatever.
Wherever they're at, like Houston or wherever it is. So, but that's
but
part
Houston's
of it.
also a Democratic city.
Yeah, mostly urban. They're moving
Right.
out of the inner city stuff, and most of these are inner cities that are overly taxed. All right, Miami being one of them.
Sure.
New York being one of them. San Diego, New Jersey, Central Jersey is number 6. Chicago is number 7.
You got winter.
Boston, city of Boston, Hudson Valley, New York. Where is that at? I don't know exactly where that is.
North of New York City, north of Westchester County.
Okay. Is that
South of Albany on the river.
Would that be considered a Democrat? Would that be considered blue or red?
It's beigeish, purple.
Okay. Because I'm looking at this, and a lot of these have a lot of blue in them.
Okay.
All right. So then we got Denver, blue.
Oh, yeah.
Santa Barbara, anything in California is blue. Seattle, blue. We're back to Stockton, blue. Washington, D.C., blue. Hartford, Connecticut. Is that blue or red?
Hartford, Connecticut is probably bluish, but some of those California places you named are not.
Yeah,
Bakersfield is not blue.
Tampa's purple.
Right.
You know, because it's that I-4 corridor, and it's a purple city. So I'll give that one, but it is probably inside the city limits. It's more blue, but the surrounding areas, because it is the surrounding areas.
San Diego's red and conservative. Bakersfield is where the ex-speaker of the House was from. That's red. That's red and conservative.
San Diego red?
San Diego. I don't think
Yes, it
there's
is.
anything in California that's red.
Bakersfield.
You better start reading a little bit more about California.
I'd rather not.
You know, where was
I'd rather not.
McCarthy? Was from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who?
We're talking the 50s?
Not that McCarthy, not Tail Gunner Joe.
Okay.
Ex-speaker.
What party was Arnold Schwarzenegger
Kevin.
when he won the governor race?
Yeah.
He was purple. He won not because he was
name.
Republican.
He ran
won
because he was Hollywood.
He won because he was Hollywood. He
was Arnold.
You can't count him as a Republican. He won because it was name recognition, and people were too damn lazy to figure out whether or not they liked his politics or not. So I can't give that one to the Republicans in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, I'll definitely say if I definitely do believe that he got a lot of policies done by just telling people to get to the chopper.
All right, enough of the bad impressions. Which cities do you think are red on this list? You think Bakersfield?
Yes, I know it.
You know it. You're positive. Blake, I'm going to need you to fact check. All right, the percentage.
Look at their congressman.
No, I just want you to fact check percentages. I'm going to say it's probably purple. I don't think there's anything red. Like, we're in a red city. We're 70-30 red.
I think you're going to be very surprised.
I want him to fact check.
I think you're going to be very surprised.
Yeah, and I rarely am, but I want him to fact check the percentage. What other one on here did you think had some red to it?
Oh.
Fresno.
Let's do Tampa because I think that is a purple one. And let's do Fresno. So we're going to do those three, and I want to break down of Republicans to Democrats in those cities.
All right.
All right.
Bakersfield first. We get so what do you think the percentage is?
I think it's close. I think it's maybe at the high end. He's saying it's red, so I'm gonna go with him knowing a little bit more than I do. I'm gonna say it's 48% Republican, 35% Democrat, and the rest independents.
All right. Bakersfield, 37% Democrat, Republican 34%.
Wow. My goodness. There's a lot of undecided in there.
Sorry, Troy. Okay. Tampa.
I got no idea about Tampa.
No, I think this one's going to be closer. So I think this one's going to be fairly close too. I think it's going to be pretty close to the same numbers.
So how the hell did Kevin McCarthy keep winning elections?
All right.
Good name recognition.
Being bland, being like white bread.
Yeah, staying out of trouble.
Pretty much. Yeah. And how'd that work out for him?
Stay out of the headlines. Well, it's not going to work out so good next time.
All right, here we go. Hillsborough
he's gone.
County.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was still there.
36% Republican, 33% Democrat, 26% no party affiliation.
Yeah, because I felt like that one might have been one of our reds.
All right.
So
Hillsborough, yeah.
So all right, Fresno.
Fresno.
I can tell you the truth. I had zero of the California ones.
All right.
Outnumbering the reds. I figured there'd be a lot of independents.
Fresno.
Because the way they do their elections and they really don't have primaries. So Blake, you're gonna have to read them for
All right,
us.
so Fresno, 37% Democrat, 32% Republican, 20% no party preference.
Yeah, I don't think there's count. Like I said, you were saying that.
That's 70. There's still people that aren't even counted. Okay.
right.
Yep.
Last one, San Diego.
San Diego, yes.
What-
that has a big military base and has a military presence to it.
Yeah, but Josh,
I still think it's going to be more Democrats than Republicans.
Josh is pointing out that it was red, but not in the last 8 elections. They've been blue.
Yeah.
That's where the John Birch Society. That's where the John Birch Society started.
All right.
All right,
Where we at?
San Diego County, 40% Democrat.
That's heavy. That's a heavy difference.
What was it? One more time.
40 to
40%
27
Democrat.
Good job.
to 27.
Huh, my buddy John's in trouble.
So the only one I see on this list that has red, and it's still pretty close, is Tampa.
Okay.
So
Anybody moving to Tampa?
people
They're
getting out
moving
of there.
from Tampa.
They're moving out.
Well, it's funny because
These are the move outs.
I left my notes at home for tomorrow. If I can do work a day ahead of time, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to bring in a list of the most successful and the best cities in the country, and there's like 180 of them on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting because that would have answered some of these questions.
Well, I'll tell you this. What's where's Walmart at?
Bentonville, Arkansas.
Bentonville, Arkansas. I probably should know a lot about that as well when I have to watch the dogs.
I see what the breakdown in Bentonville is. Because I consider that one of the most successful cities. I mean, 'cause there's so much corporation there. Their business to residents got to give them in a really good spot. So I'd like to see what their numbers are.
All right, AI is generating.
Hey, thank you, AI.
Hey, oh, wait a second. You're getting this from AI? Oh, so I'm not buying any of these numbers. AI makes more mistakes than anybody these days.
Oh, stop it.
Seriously.
Those are stats.
They,
You know how easy it is to find the stats?
Okay. So Google search, like, they have their like own like AI at the beginning of like each
It's
web
everything
search.
everything you're
Right.
searching is going to be AI.
It's going to be right there. Like so basically they don't
It's okay.
Give me a book in a library any day.
So
It's okay. It's okay that the pig farmer knew more about Democrats than you. It's okay.
I don't mind. You know, you can come back into the fold anytime you want.
So
Yeah, I will. Well, no, I'm going to be in the America.
Right.
I'm going to be in that middle.
The
middle
America
section.
Party. I'm
Yeah.
coming with you. Forget it. We're in.
All right. So it looks like there's like no direct hard numbers for like what percentage of the population is
In Bentonville?
Yeah, in Bentonville, yes, but
Arkansas don't have computers yet.
but it did say in the last presidential election that Trump got 62.2% of the vote in Bentonville.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
Yes.
Well, look at who the governor is.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
She's a Nepo baby.
how just even things out, in case you're wondering, here in St. Johns County, it's 54.9% of the voters are Republican, 21.2% are Democrat.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And there's 6 Democrats. Exactly.
and like the independents outnumber
the Democrats.
the Democrats
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, all right.
If only
So
they voted.
I
If only
just-
they voted that way.
I just saw that, and as I was looking, I was like, all right, people are leaving there because they're tired of the taxes.
Yeah. Now,
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, because I've been to some of these cities. My most hated city is number one.
that was St. Louis.
I do not like Los Angeles. St. Louis is the most dangerous city I've ever been in. I won't go back to St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis is the most dangerous city I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
But Los Angeles, and just the way they do things, the way I mean, you can be in traffic forever.
Well, that's
and it's
that's
awful.
interminable.
And
Yeah, that's
it's
ridiculous.
an awful lifestyle, in my opinion. And people love LA. I love LA. No, not me. I'm not that guy.
Thank you, Randy Newman.
Yeah.
but
Short people.
Easy.
Yeah, but real quick though, so Pods, I looked at the story as well on the Pods website. They also listed the top 10 cities with the highest move-ins. Did you do you want to guess which one's number one, real quick?
Top
Houston.
cities,
Yes.
number one move-ins.
Yes.
I think Phoenix is probably up there.
All right.
I think Houston's on that list as well.
Yeah, the Houston and Phoenix, I think are I like his guess also.
both of them are not on that list.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Myrtle Beach at number one. Then Ocala.
Oh, these aren't really big cities. Then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Then it's Ocala,
Ocala, Florida.
Raleigh, Greenburgh, Spartanburg, Dallas, Fort Worth area, Charlotte, Boise, Idaho, Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, then Jacksonville at 10.
I have
Jackson-
seen this list.
Jacksonville's
I've
doing
seen this
good on a lot of metrics. Jacksonville's doing just skippy.
Yeah, no, and the
Yeah.
the villages are what they're claiming Ocala. So that's why that move-in's so high.
Lame.
So a lot of retirement stuff's happening over there.
Like lots of colorful
Horses and
loofahs.
loofahs. So, yeah. So yeah, let's bring that list up again, Blake, if you don't mind. Just pick one of those and let's see what the Republican to Democrat separation
Can I
is on
actually
that
read
one.
Holy cow.
It's Myrtle. I'll read them again. Myrtle Beach, Ocala, Raleigh, Greenville, Dallas, Charlotte, Boise, Knoxville, Nashville, and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's probably leans more Democrat than Republican.
It does.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, if that's the one we want to pull up on that list, I think there's going to be more Republicans on that list than Democrats on that list. But I think Jacksonville is percentage Democrat, but I think it's still fairly close.
But the question,
I mean,
the question that begs to be asked
Donna got in.
is: Are only Republicans fleeing these urbanly blighted inner cities with exorbitant taxes?
I think it's aging people.
Okay.
And as you age,
You become more conservative.
You can become more conservative, and you become leaning more towards the Republican side.
Right.
Your money, you get to an age where you're like, okay, this doesn't make sense. I can get the same lifestyle and keep this much of my money, and it goes further.
But why am I paying school taxes? I don't have kids in school.
Exactly.
And who paid for your children to go to school? Thank you.
Well, I mean, and my parents left Florida and went to Tennessee because of the cost of living.
Sure.
And they did that 15 years ago at retirement, and then he went back to work again. But I mean, so I think it has more to do with the personalities of the people that are actually being transient,
Okay.
which is usually people kind of close to the end of their retirement or their business age. And
Right, they're looking for
I think
bang for
that
the
has
buck.
to do-
Yeah, they're looking
I
for
think it
value.
has to do bang
Yeah.
for your buck.
Yeah, value for
and
sure.
And these cities
Yeah.
are usually Republican cities that have more bang for their buck. So,
Okay.
all right, Jacksonville. What was the breakdown?
All right, Jacksonville was 37.9% Democrat, 36.4% Republican.
That's
Just
as
almost
purple.
even,
That's as
yeah.
purple as it gets.
Yeah, that's almost even. Yeah.
Yeah, that's as purple as it gets right there. So, what was number one on the list?
Number one on the
Myrtle
list.
Beach?
Yeah, it was Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, South Carolina.
That's gonna have the R's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever been there? That's gonna have the R's on it.
Right. And a lot of miniature golf courses.
Yes, they lead the world in it.
Exactly. Pick a theme, and there's a miniature golf course with that theme.
Yeah, but I think the miniature golf course was invented in North Carolina.
Okay.
I think in 1916.
Okay.
I do not know how I know that.
That is a random fact, my friend.
Blake,
Random
you can
fact.
fact check that one.
The mini golf world
The
record.
first miniature golf course, I believe it was in North Carolina, and I believe it was in 1916. And I think I asked that trivia question like 12 years ago.
And I want to know if it had a windmill and a clown.
Yeah. So,
Mini golf.
and then you go get your ball back at 18. That always pissed me off as a kid.
So it was in North Carolina. It was actually in Pinehurst.
Pinehurst.
Okay.
What year?
1960. So
1916.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just like curiosity though, but I do wonder if they called the course Pinehurst number one half.
Oh, yeah, it was like 0.2.
Pinehurst, where the World Golf Hall of Fame has returned to after a brief hiatus in St. Augustine adjacent.
Why'd you have to bring that up, Lenny?
Yeah. Well,
Why'd they call it St. Augustine? That's what always confused me.
we have some county officials coming in to talk about our World Golf Village soon in the next month or so.
Nice.
About what's going on. But right now they're in a dark period of the RFP of that. So, all right.
That'll be interesting.
We kind of got caught up on that one for quite a while. I really want to hear before we go to this
Wager
one,
wire?
the wager wire. I want to hear what you have about recycling, or do you have something really quick? The two that
The
really
recycling's it's actually involved. Because have you met me?
yes, I know.
It's basically, long story short, we export all our as much recycling as I can, our electronic waste and all our plastics. If we can get away with it, we're shipping it out. Mm-hmm. And over the course of time, I mean, it all used to go to China, and they said, you know what? We don't want it anymore. Mm-hmm. So it started going to Vietnam, who said, not so much. And then Thailand and Indonesia. And they said, nope. Starting at the beginning of the year, they're not taking it anymore. So it was Malaysia, and Malaysia was getting it all. And Malaysia's going, yeah, no, we're done. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We're going to choke on our own plastic at this point in time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because in Malaysia, the piles of plastic get there, and two things happen. People scavenge through it, believe it or not, looking for shreds of paper and cardboard that they can sell back to the paper plant for money to support their farming. And the plastic, factories use that to burn for energy. Mm-hmm. There's like 60 tofu factories in and around these areas, and they burn plastic for the heat to cook their tofu. Mm-hmm. And it sends out huge clouds of black and
That's
toxic
what I was
smoke.
wondering, the toxic.
Yeah, it's toxic smoke, and that's another thing.
Here's something that I think if I was a chemist and what's going on with all the plastics in the world and this is happening and they're realizing, oh, crap, the recycling thing really doesn't work.
Yeah.
If I was a chemist, I'd figure out a way to break down plastic and not hurt the environment in a negative way.
Right.
Either that or we're going to have to figure out a way to put it all in a vault, break it down, not so safely, break it down and confine it into a vault to break down these plastics.
Well,
Because and we're sitting here, we got single-use plastics on our table here. When I say I am against recycling, that does not mean I'm against single-use. I am against single-use plastics. If we can avoid that, I'm all in favor of that. I think that helps the environment. But I'm not in favor of sending out big diesel trucks and gobbling it up or sending them halfway across the world and spending that money, which, you know, all the energy that we spend in the boats and the planes and whatever it takes it to get there. Because it doesn't just, we don't have I Dream of Jeannie who wiggles her nose and gets it to Malaysia.
Well, why don't we start putting it in the same place we were putting nuclear waste? Stick it in those big holes in the ground and bury it up there.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point in time, maybe the nuclear waste will just melt it all down.
Yep. Josh said Diddy was denied bail. So.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, so he'll be there until his sentencing on October 3rd. So thanks for that update, Josh. But I mean, this is all these other countries which were doing really bad stuff with the plastics that we were sending to them.
Right.
Are even saying, wait a second. When Malaysia is going to the U.S., that's a bad idea.
Well, it's interesting.
It should be telling us something.
Malaysia's banning plastic from countries that don't abide by the Basel Convention. So obviously all the countries in the world got together and they started to do, some diplomacy on how to handle plastics. Mm-hmm. And the United States signed it in 1990, but never ratified it. Mm-hmm. So that gives Malaysia the opportunity to say, sorry, we're not taking your stuff anymore without having any reason. But last year, the U.S. exported 80 million pounds of plastic to Malaysia alone. Mm-hmm. 10 million of that came from California.
All right. And what did California pay Malaysia to take it?
I don't have dollar figures on what it was.
Because, I always hear, they're buying it from us. Oh, yeah. That's not really a thing.
Yeah, we talked about that. You used to be able to sell your recycling and make good money on cardboard and the metal and stuff like that. But now you got to pay people to haul it.
Yeah. Well, and there was always a subsidy from the federal government on that, too, because they were a part of the hoax. So, they were a part of the hoax.
Federal government?
Yeah.
Pulling the wool over people's eyes?
I know. Shocking.
I can't believe that.
Big news. All right. It is time for the wager wire.
Okay.
I'm going to keep these three for tomorrow. I'm going to write them up here. So I won't erase them again.
Okay.
So, I have zero research tomorrow.
I'm with you, man.
I'm going to nerd out because then we have to come up with a topic for tomorrow also.
Well, we've got soda and fast food restaurants.
No. A topic for the second half of the show. Our Bollocks deep dive.
Ooh.
Our deep dive. So,
we could do the Enron loophole.
Enron loophole. Okay.
Or we could go even a little deeper into Americana. Those are all fascinating.
Yeah, that one I really we'll put both of those up there as possible topics.
Okay.
All right, wager wire. So, you and I are notorious gamblers that aren't so good at it.
There you go. Exactly. I'm a notoriously bad gambler.
We are very good at parlays of getting 4 out of 5.
Right.
Or 5 out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blake, who was the guy who crushed your parlay last night? Because Ricky had the same bet as you did. Same guy crushed his parlay. Who was your parlay crusher last night?
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman.
Didn't get a hit.
The nicest guy. One of the best hitters in the league.
Yeah.
One of the guys you can truly count on.
One hit. I just needed one. I didn't need a walk. I didn't need like a double. I didn't need a home run. I just needed one single. All right. What did he do? Bam. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
I lost the parlay last night. Mm-hmm. The Houston game. They're playing the Rockies. All right.
Yeah, in Colorado.
At one point, it's 6-1. I'm giving up a run and a half, sitting pretty. All right. I'm sitting on a pretty nice parlay. It's like a four parlay with some dogs on it, some underdogs on it. And bottom of the ninth, solo home run, they cover.
It's Colorado, man. The ball flies.
I understand that, but they are the Rockies.
True. They are very bad this season.
They are not good.
They're very bad this season.
Oh, I like Melissa's topic. Dictators throughout history.
Yeah.
Melissa, I think you're the winner right there. That's tomorrow's topic.
Nice.
We're gonna get to some of these other end runs and
that's fine. Yeah, well, as long as we remember them.
Yeah. So I'm leaving them up here. So I'm gonna try to at least. But yeah, no, that was my parlay buster last night. So Dodgers covered for me last night, which was
okay.
And here's how I do. I have two little bets. One big bet is kind of my night.
Okay.
That I put together.
I wish I had that self-control.
Yeah. Well, I didn't always have that self-control. Okay. And tonight I have two little parlays, and my big play is the guy who's going for 3,000 strikeouts.
Right.
All right. So I have road dogs, underdogs, and Kershaw.
How many does he need?
He needs 3.
3 strike? No, to get to 3,000, or how many?
To get
does
to
he?
3,000.
Right. How many does he need?
He needs 4.5.
Okay.
All right. I can tell you right now, if it's not a significant game, and I'm a mid-level player, how do you get yourself in the record books?
Be the 3,000 strikeout of Clayton Kershaw?
Exactly. All right. One of my rules when I played basketball, because I didn't get in the game a whole lot,
Right.
so I could get in the stat line, I made sure I fouled somebody.
You're in the books.
If you foul someone, you get in the books. So if you got in the game, either you got a shot off or you fouled somebody and you got in the game. I didn't always get a shot off it, like how short I was, but I was always able to foul somebody.
Right.
So that way you got in the box scores. But if I'm playing against Kershaw tonight and it's the 3rd inning, it's 0-2 count, I'm probably not trying that hard if I'm the 3rd guy to strike out.
Right.
Just saying. And you think baseball players don't think like that, you're wrong.
Right.
I mean, because we know if any sports out there, we know our stats. And it used to be worse. I think it used to be worse, but now they got all these stupid things that don't really make any sense, but they got the WAR and they got your launch angle and you got your velocity, and it's not like
wins above replacement.
Like I was always a 300 hitter, but I bet my launch angle and my whatever exit velocity exit velocity might be like 3 miles an hour
with the wind at your back.
Well, wait, I mean, my my junior college coach would say, he called me killer. He looked like Walter Matthau, by the way. Coach Pantelis.
The Bad News Bears.
Very tough coach, very disciplined. I always needed a very disciplined coach for me to have success. When I had a coach who tried to be my friend, I wasn't always the best. But I had Coach Pantelis, and I got on a hot streak my freshman year, and he goes, "Killer." That was my nickname there, Killer. Because I was about the size of a chihuahua compared to these other guys. Now, I played in the steroid era. I might have weighed 130 pounds. My uniform never fit. I looked like Lupus. At Stetson, at my home field, when I was playing for Flagler, they started chanting Lupus, and they knew I was a hometown guy. So, they were just all over me. But Coach Pantelis would say, "Killer, you're going to be the first person to win MVP of the conference and not hit a ball over 200 feet. But that was totally acceptable at that time. The Willie McGee's of the world, and this was the time where it was acceptable. Like, they talk about Ozzie Smith, probably one of the greatest defensive shortstops of all time.
The Wizard of Oz.
And they talk about how terrible of a hitter it was, but he hit 260, 270.
Yeah.
Now the guys are hitting 198. Hitting in the 2 spot.
Oh, they're embarrassed. Yeah,
I mean, how do you hit 198 in the 2 spot? You might, what was it, Mendoza line?
Mendoza line.
Manny Mendoza line.
Yeah.
You were made fun of if you didn't crack 200. Now it's acceptable.
And how much money are they making, by the way?
Oh, gosh.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Some of them millions.
Yeah. For years.
Yeah.
Guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So, all right. But I have road dogs, underdogs, and Kershaw tonight. What are some of do you have any themes to your bets at all, or you just went very random? The Mets have already already let you down, right?
They already lost it. Yeah, well, no, I didn't take any. Well, Alonso hasn't hit a home run in ages, so at some point he's got to launch one or break a bat over his knee, one of the two.
Could be a combination of both.
We're close to either.
Yeah.
He got one of the 2 RBIs today, but the Brewers had 9 runs, the Mets had 2, so they didn't win. No, I've gone away from hitters and things. I'm starting to play with pitchers now. And as I said, I can take the chalk. It's a negative number with a very small payout. for
But the money's there.
for 6 strikeouts. Well, yeah, I know, but have you met me?
Yeah.
You know?
You're going for the bigs.
That's exactly right. So
Swinging for the fences.
So I had the extra strikeout, and they get the initial number, and they don't get the next one there. So I did that twice today.
Yeah, DeGrom last night, they took him out of the game.
I know.
He was cruising. He was eating them up, and then they took him out of the game. I had him, and I had Skeens. I lost both. Both my ATMs didn't pay out yesterday.
And Sonny Gray didn't today. If I took him at 6, I would have made a little bit of money, but I was going for the big payday at 7, and he got 6.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I did the same thing.
Yeah, so
I did the same thing. All right.
But there's a rookie pitching for the Brewers tonight against the Mets, who are free swingers, I'll tell you that. Of course, they'll probably break out tonight against this kid.
Yeah.
He's got 3 starts under his belt, throws a lot of heat, so I took him.
Yeah, the kid from Detroit is now stepping up to be my ATM too.
Okay. I thought it was going to be Sonny Gray, but what do I know?
Tyreek, what's his last name? Blake, from Detroit. Sorry to make you join the show. I saw you nodding off in there.
Sorry, Tariq Skubal.
Yeah. Skubal. Yeah. I mean, he just is a beast.
Yeah.
So, and Kershaw's playing against the White Sox tonight.
Yes.
So that's my big play.
In LA,
I think he's going to be hyped up a little bit.
Chicago.
It's actually in LA.
Okay.
So it's in LA. So it and the headlines is Kershaw, and Kershaw's always been a big game guy.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have exactly what he used to have, but the number's 4.5. I think he's going to be hyped up. He's playing a weak team. So Kershaw's my big bet tonight. Over 4.5. So.
Yeah, it's Mizurowski who is the rookie pitching for the Brewers tonight. But I've got this kid on, I want to say Houston, yeah. Brown on Houston, who's apparently pretty good.
Yeah. No.
So
Bless you, Blake.
have him.
All right. My road dogs. What you have another bet there? You got some parlays. I see you got some stuff marked out.
Yeah, I've got Hunter Brown getting 7 strikeouts, Jose Altuve getting 2 hits, and the Astros winning the game.
Okay, that's the parlay.
Yeah,
that was going to pay out pretty good. Sounds like
not as much as I'd like, but yeah, it's okay.
All right, so my road dogs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I took the 1.5 on each of these.
Okay.
All right, so they don't have to win the game; they just have to be within 1. All right, my road dogs. Are the Reds? I took the Reds against the Red Sox. So they've been playing tight. Both games have been really tight. Reds have lost both games, and so it's time for the Reds to win, or at least play tight again. Mm-hmm. I have the Angels against the Braves, which is a little bit of a long shot. But they're getting a 1.5.
Yeah, and the Braves pitcher has a 10.80 ERA, so
yeah,
he's hittable apparently.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like a bullpen day for the Braves. Yeah. And then I have the Guardians against the Cubs.
Right.
Both teams are solid teams. And that's my road dog parlay. Playing a little bit of money. That's my road dog. So what other bet? Then I'll give my underdog after that. I love the fact that the games haven't started and you bet a number and then they offer you an early payout at $1.25 less.
You're in trouble there.
It hadn't even started.
Right.
The game hadn't even started.
Yeah.
So what other bet you got out there?
I've got the pitcher on the Diamondbacks, Kelly, getting me 7 strikeouts against the Giants. They're free swingers. Mm-hmm. Guy's pretty good. See, I'm looking because he's thrown 98 innings and he's pitched 100 strikeouts.
The Giants have killed me all year long. Whichever way I bet them, they go the other way. And Giants have a good team. Mm-hmm. They're a solid team. But I bet for them they'll throw up a nut against like Colorado. And it's like, okay, how do you guys lose to them at home against them? So I mean there's some of the Giants I've kind of tried to stay away from the Giants because they've just been hurting my feelings. Yeah. So is everybody else, but
yeah. Well, I won't do that to you.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about football for a minute because the Dolphins made some seriously interesting moves.
Okay.
Your Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm a Dolphin fan. I want to tell you a funny bet I made. Okay, I don't know anything about the WNBA. And I know Caitlin Clark plays on the Fever.
Yes.
Okay. I knew they had their mid-tournament championship game. I think it was last night. Yeah. and I put a small bet on the Fever. All right.
Okay.
You know the only problem with that? Caitlin Clark hadn't played for 3 games. I didn't even know that, but I still won.
Right.
So that shows you how gambling makes no sense
Oh,
whatsoever. So,
but
not going to stop us from doing it.
right. And they've got the WNBA All-Star game coming up.
Yeah.
She's one of the 2 captains, I believe. And the WNBA is also expanding to 3 cities.
I heard that.
Philadelphia. Let's see if I can do this right. It was
Not St. Augustine.
Nope, it's Philadelphia, Toronto, I believe, and I forget what the third one was. Blake?
Let's see. I know it's Philly, Detroit.
Something starting with a D, I think. Maybe it is Detroit.
Philadelphia, Detroit, and let's see. I'm not sure what the other one is.
I think it might have been Toronto.
Was that Robin Ventura getting his ass kicked by Ryan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's a terrible. He had a great career.
Robin Ventura?
A borderline all-star.
Yeah.
A lot of years, and he's going to be remembered by getting beat up by an old, tough as nails Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Why he went out there, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
You got to have a better plan. I can tell you this. I've been hit and I've had to charge the mound. I never like charging the mound, and I always charge the mound a lot slower than most.
hoping the catcher will catch you.
Well, I can tell you, usually the guys from the dugout can beat you there when you're the little guy. Okay? You got a lot of bodyguards in your career. And, when you get in scraps, the big guys come to your rescue.
Which is good.
You know,
That's what a team's all about.
And there's some guys that, if they're watching the show, sorry about all the fights I got you into. But he was the big guy on our team. But if you go out there on a guy like Nolan Ryan, which is tough as nails, you go out there slow and take your time. Don't go out there and try and bum rush a guy who can just wallop you, and it's just you and him on the.
Especially if you go low to try to tackle him or grab his legs, he's just going to pound you in the top of the head.
Well, he put him in a headlock and then just was like, like right on top. It was just pounded him. So, all right. Sorry to interrupt that with that.
No, that's fine.
But
okay.
The Dolphins
Made some really good moves.
Okay.
They traded malcontent Jalen Ramsey to the
horrible human being,
ever-growing Pittsburgh Steelers, Blake.
The front office at the Jacksonville said he was the worst teammate they've had in the franchise history.
And they got rid of him.
That came from the front office.
Yeah. And he wanted out of Miami, and they said, have a nice day.
Yeah, bye-bye.
And you know who they got in exchange? Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Who was a hell of a defensive ball player.
I don't know what Pittsburgh was thinking there. I don't think they did their due
and
diligence.
then
sorry, look at Blake's face.
I know.
Yeah,
and then they picked up a pretty good tight end, Johnny Smith, who had a recovery season last year and was really great for the Dolphins. Whatever.
That tight end, Johnny Smith. He's notorious for being like Arthur Smith's like pet project when
that's why he went back to Pittsburgh.
Smith was in Atlanta. I believe he got more snaps than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Well, he went back to Atlanta, but he also did very, very well for the Dolphins.
Aaron Rodgers loves tight end.
Absolutely.
They'll play a lot of package with a 3 tight end package in Pittsburgh with what they got right now.
Who's there now? Freiermuth?
Yeah, Pat Freiermuth is our number 1 tight end right now.
But the Dolphins said, bye-bye, Jonnu, because you know what they did? They got Darren Waller out of retirement from the Giants.
Yeah.
And when he was when he's playing good, this guy is a monster.
Yeah, he's a great third down guy.
Yep.
He's a great third down guy, and the Dolphins were missing that. So,
I think the Dolphins made 2 very positive moves.
Yeah. So,
I like Minka Fitzpatrick, man. He takes at least 1 back a season, if not 2.
We lost Mooster this year with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have Ashning, who...
And I don't know. How do you say his name?
Shane.
And Shane.
Devon Achan.
Yeah.
Achan.
Yeah. So I don't know who's in back to him.
Okay.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
All right, we're at the end because we got land title coming in. My underdog picks were... sorry. Real quick, if I can find it right there. My underdog picks tonight were the Twins, the Tigers, and the Yankees.
Tigers playing too because the Tigers crushed.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Those are my road dogs. I said the underdogs first, and those were my road dogs. My road dogs are the Twins, the Tigers, and the Yankees. So
Tigers won.
Oh, they already won?
The Tigers crushed.
Okay. I thought they said, it says today at 6:45.
Might be. There were so many. There were so many. There were so many
I didn't bet
rainouts.
them in time.
Right. There were so many rainouts.
That's how bad I am at gambling. You really shouldn't listen to me on the wager wire. All right. Thank you, guys.
Not me.
Support our sponsors. We got Land Title coming in right after us. This is Bollocks this evening. Have a great night.
See you tomorrow.